Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Capricorn is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Capricorn, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Six of Wands, very good. This is a card of victory. Yeah, this is a card that tells me that you have been putting in the work. You have been fighting and fighting and fighting for something, and it's paying off. Okay, I think a long time of pushing against something, trying, struggling, a lot of discipline, a lot of endurance, right? Finally getting the win. This is good. This, I think, is going to be like the turning point. I feel like you're somebody who, despite the challenges, you kept going, right? The Six of Wands is a card of achievement. It's a card of like the pride after an achievement, you know? It tells me that you have been struggling for a long time with something, okay? Whether you're trying to make some kind of a career, ascension, you're trying to push through some kind of a creative blockage or whatever it was. You're advocating for something. You were showing up every day and doing the work, okay? This is the card of the win after the struggle. And I want you to claim this right now. Let's put it into a little bit of context. And let's see what's going on here. There we've got the High Priestess, the Hermit energy, Nine of Pentacles, Five of Pentacles, Five of Swords. Over here we have a Two of Wands. We have a Prince of Swords, the Emperor, and the Ten of Wands. Yeah, I feel that after a long period of discipline and endurance, probably like years. I feel like you've been traveling a road for a long time, kind of this hermit off on this road, right? And it feels like it's probably career, something like that. After years of that kind of discipline, you're getting the win. You're getting the success. I think there's a career breakthrough, okay, that really lifts your profile, really brings you into the limelight a little bit, okay? And I think that it really significantly changes your status, right? So I feel like it is a major breakthrough that's going to have the financial as well as the creative sort of benefits, okay? I feel like the financial stability is kind of a big part of this. I feel like you've invested a lot into this already. I don't know if you're an entrepreneur or you're doing... Maybe this is just your career, this is your school even, whatever it could be. You've invested a lot already, okay? And this is the turning point, okay? The stability that you've been dreaming of, the sort of, anytime we get the fives, right, we start looking for the four. I feel like that's coming into your life, okay? Because this is that kind of confidence, this is that stability with that Emperor energy. It's kind of like everything that you've been worried about is stabilizing and solidifying. And I feel like between these two, there's been a lot of challenges with the fives, right? A lot of worries, a lot of questioning, doubts. I feel like you're becoming the Emperor. And this to me feels like a very successful business owner, It feels like business. It doesn't necessarily need to be that for you, but let's select the mystery card. Bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it down right over here. with Tiny Bob Ross right on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end. It will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card might be, put your prediction in the comments down beneath the video. Now, as we look around the room, we see the Hermit being led by the High Priestess into the Emperor energy. Absolutely perfect, divinely guided. Okay, I think Spirit is revealing the victory to you, revealing the path before you. Years of discipline and endurance are finally paying off. Okay, this is the breakthrough that's going to improve your finances. It's going to bring you to a position of leadership or authority. Okay, so we have our majors. We have fire, fire, fire. Ooh, where's the water? Okay, where's the water here? The Ten of Wands has sort of dried up all the water. I feel like we need the water energy, right? That love. I feel like your love is going to arrive when you let yourself like lean on other people instead of feeling like you have to carry all the weight. This is that card of like, it's all on your shoulders. It's your discipline. It's your endurance. It's your hard work. It's your project, and it's all on you. Nobody else can help. Nobody else can touch it. You won't let anybody else even answer the phones, you know? No. Lean on other people. Okay? The Hermit, and of course, in Capricorn, you're that lone mountain goat. And you've got that Hermit energy right there anyway. Tells me that you've been kind of isolating yourself. And it's obviously it's worked, it's paying off, but it's really important that you establish your personal relationships, that you communicate with people, that you lean on other people, that you form those relationships and those connections, and you establish some personal kind of bonds here, okay? There's no water at all, okay? So Spirit is saying that your love is going to arrive. All this good, joyful water energy is going to come flooding in when you let yourself lean on others instead of trying to carry it all by yourself. Okay? That's part of the stability of the Emperor, okay, is having those stable personal relationships too. And so this really could be like, yeah, your financial stuff is improving exponentially. That breakthrough is about to happen. You see with the Five of Pentacles here, there's that golden light that's starting to break through the crust of those pentacles. That's telling me that you've been working hard on something and it's about to hit. And it's about to change your life. This is the turning point. Let's say the rest of this year. From now till the new year, you're going to see this breakthrough unfolding. Okay? The stability and the abundance that you've been dreaming of is manifesting now. You've got to make sure that you got your people around you. Otherwise, you're going to get there to the end and it's going to be an empty shell. Okay? So anyway, no water. A little bit of air, not too much of the air. And of course, we have our earth cards. Okay? So, we have, two of the air, two of the earth cards. I do feel like there's been a lot of concern about the physical progress. Now, it's pentacles, it could be health, it could be wealth, right? It could be fitness, could be finances. But those goals that you have, I think that you have been traveling this road for a long time, using your discipline, keeping yourself to it, even though I think that you've been starting to sort of doubt it. You've been starting to think, well, if it hasn't happened by now, maybe it's not going to happen. Spirit's saying it is. It is going to happen. Claim that win. Claim the victory of the Six of Wands right now in the comments, okay? And big shout out to everybody that watches these readings as a group with your friends. Those are the things that are important to you right now. Those are the things that you really need to focus on. You've been hermit mode for a long time now, doing this work, nose to the grindstone, whatever this is, physical or financial. You've been saying no to the kind of social things, right? The external things of the social kind. Maybe not saying no necessarily, saying not right now to your pets, your plants, your people, your friends, your family, your loved ones, right? Saying not right now because you're busy, because you were working towards something. Think of how many times you've had to say no, or how many times you've had to say not right now to things that you really wanted to do, but you said not right now because you needed to work. Whether it's actual career work or your financial stuff or your business or your entrepreneurial endeavors or your health or your fitness work, whatever it might be, whatever your goals are, okay? Because the hermit, can sort of put the hood up, put the earbuds in, and just get down and focus. Maybe you're writing a book. Maybe you're starting a business. Maybe you're doing your taxes. Maybe you're studying in school. Whatever these goals are, I think that you've been saying, sorry, I can't right now, to a lot of things. Okay? And when this win happens, when this breakthrough happens, it's important that you make sure to develop those relationships again. Okay? Spirit is really emphasizing the lack of the water energy right now. And that water energy is going to be here. Maybe it's here, but it's not all that deep. It's not all that significant. It's a little bit scarce that I don't know where it is yet. I think the way that you open up all that water is by allowing yourself to lean on others. Allowing yourself to bring other people in and say, yeah, here's what I'm doing. Here's what it looks like. Come on in to the office. I feel like you have like an office in your house or something. And you go in there, you shut the door, and people don't see you for weeks. You know? It's kind of like open the door, invite them in. And say, come on, I want you to see what I'm doing. Or maybe, can I get your opinion on something? Can you look at these numbers? Can you make sure I did the math right? You know, by involving other people in what you're doing right now is going to help to really solidify those relationships. Okay? The high priestess here is the guide. And she's guiding you to your best life. She's kind of here to say, here you are. You're arriving at your best life. And I think, again, it seems to me like the rest of this year, there's not much time left in the year, right? We're almost to the end of the year. I think that throughout, from now until New Year's, you're going to see a lot of things manifesting, a lot of this abundance coming in, a lot of things stabilizing. And she's trying to lead you down that road, but the thing about the high priestess is that if it were that obvious, she wouldn't be here. It would just literally be, keep going down the road you're on, you're going to get the victory, and it's all good, things are going to stabilize. Overcome your doubt, don't question things too much, just keep riding that success, right? But she's here as kind of feels like she's an anomaly. In this reading, it sort of seems as if she doesn't belong, right? And I think she's here to tell you that, look, something's missing from this success. Yeah, this progress and this big victory. She's kind of like wanting you to look around and be like, who's sharing the victory with you? This is going to be a big win. This is going to be a wonderful, ramping up to the new year. Who's there to share it with you? Look around you and find your dog, find your cat, find your best friends, find your lover, find your kids, find your whatever. Find your pets, your plants, and your people, and give them a little bit of love. Give them some attention. And I think lean on them, especially as you've been feeling this kind of almost anxiety, right? A little bit of this worry, and maybe even some self-doubt, okay? And it may be that when things are uncertain, when you're not really, it doesn't feel like things are working just yet, and there's these concerns, and we're thinking, well, will it ever happen? You might be one of those people that tends to go even further inside of yourself when things get a little rough. When you start to have doubts about your progress, I don't think you're somebody that calls up your best friend and says, hey, I'm having doubts about my progress. I think you tend to go inside, and you tend to isolate yourself emotionally even more. And that maybe is your strategy, maybe because that's, kind of you steel yourself to the problem and it gives you more power to focus. And the Hermit's a really good card. Okay? It shows me that you've been going your own way, doing your own thing. You're on the frontier of your life. Okay? You're carving your own way through the jungle. And really it's just a matter of, keep doing that. But also, don't forget that you have a personal life too. Don't forget that there are people that love you and that they want to be around you and spend time with you. And that having those relationships is actually going to help you to travel down this road that you're on. Okay. Because a lot of the time when we start to get a little unsure of things, our instinct might tell you to buckle down, double your efforts. You've been in your office for 5 hours a day, stay in your office 10 hours a day, 20 hours a day, okay? And so the instinct there is to just kind of work harder, eliminate more distractions. It's like, well, then I guess I can't sleep at night. I guess I got to take my meals in the car while I'm driving or something, right? And it's just like finding ways to be more efficient. And I think the High Priestess is here to say kind of like, whoa, it like kind of looks like she's got that vibe. She's saying, hang on a second. Faster and harder and deeper is not always better, right? Sometimes you need to be a little bit more tender with yourself and go easy on yourself and allow yourself some of those things that the Hermit has been denying themselves. The Hermit loves to say, no, I can't right now because I'm working. Okay, that's the Hermit energy. I think the High Priestess is saying, hang on a second. That's not always, don't think you're going to make more progress by being even rougher with yourself, Anyway, she's trying to show you your blind spot. She's trying to show you the path to your best life that you might be missing right now. The Nine of Pentacles in the background feels like a long road. Okay, usually the Nine of Pentacles is a card of gain. It's a card of progress, the visible signs of progress. But very often, this is what the Queen of Pentacles is looking at. The Queen of Pentacles will look back and see the long, winding road. The twists and turns, the ups and downs. The road that you travel to get where you are right now. So this to me is quite a long time. Maybe, say what month is 9, right? And we're at the end of August now. Well, so it's almost kind of works out 9 and then the rest of the year. So that we could say that this is the first part of the year that you already traveled. Okay? And so it kind of, for me anyway, confirms that this, like the next week or two is when this breakthrough is going to happen and this opportunity is really going to begin to manifest and things are really going to start unfolding and stabilizing. Because then by the end of the year, I think the cycle is going to be complete. So this is the last several months, 8, 9 months, of you working hard, struggling, and I feel Hermit traveling that path kind of isolated. Okay. I think this was a lot of discipline, a lot of endurance. Yeah. And it worked out. I mean, when you look back at the last, let's say 9 or 10 months of your life, I think you can see how much progress you've actually made. And I think that's very encouraging. And in a way, it's Spirit's way of saying, hold on a second. This is, right now in this moment, you're getting a really big win. So maybe use this as an opportunity, getting this big win. Use it to look back at how far you've come and allow yourself a little bit of joy. Allow yourself to connect with your people. Allow yourself to say, hey, you know what? I did it. It's okay. I did it myself. It's okay that I now ask for help. Because maybe you're someone that you want to do everything by yourself. You want to, literally, if you're starting a business, you're doing all of it. right? You're doing the online stuff. You're doing the books, the accounting, you're doing the hiring. You're doing maybe not even hiring anybody. You're doing all the production. You're doing all the sales. You're doing every part of it yourself. And in a way that feels kind of like a perfectionist, Feels like you don't want anybody to touch it because they're not going to do it as well as you. Or you don't really fully trust anybody to help you. So now we're here with this the Five of Pentacles and the Five of Swords. There's a lack of trust. And I feel that the Hermit can sometimes get a little crotchety, as can the mountain goat, right? Because it feels like you don't trust anybody to help you. Because you feel like you're going to have to just supervise their work anyway, then you'll end up having to redo it, and so that just wastes more time that you could have just done it yourself to begin with, right? I feel like that's kind of the reasoning. It's like I'd rather do it myself because if I ask anybody to help me, that's just going to be more work for me. And it's like, wait, how does that work? And I think it's because you don't trust them to do it right. So you'll have to double check their work. You'll find some mistake. And then you'll have to redo it. And so that takes you then like 3 times as long than if you were to just do it yourself to begin with. Okay? But I feel like there's at least this recognition that there is a need for assistance. There's a need for connections. It's not something that you can continue to support on your own shoulders. This is the weight on the Emperor's shoulders. Whatever this is, if it's the business, or your finances, or your career, you're reaching that point now where no further growth will be possible unless you get help from other places, unless you outsource, or unless you automate, unless you hire people, unless you bring somebody into your life, or you open your door and you allow somebody to come in. Not only with the kind of physical, logistical tasks of the business, but your energy. Your energy will not be able to continue to go forward, making any further progress without some kind of reprieve or release. Okay? It's kind of like you need the time off. You need a little bit of self-care, but you need self-care, including bonding with your pets, your plants, your people. Okay? Enjoying yourself, enjoying life, enjoying what you're building. Otherwise, no progress is possible beyond this point. Because this is the card of burnout, for one thing. So it's that critical point in your life where no further progress is possible with you and your energy, like spiritually, or kind of physically, financially, with the logistics themselves. No growth is possible without incorporating other souls, okay? That seems to be the message. But this is that moment where everything breaks open. And that Five of Pentacles is showing that you've been chiseling away at something for a long time. The dam is breaking. All this golden light is going to shine through. And the stability and the abundance that you've been dreaming of is going to start manifesting. And if you want that to happen, we've got to open the door and bring in some of that love. We got to start leaning on other people, outsourcing, automating, and also taking some time off, resting, recuperating, enjoying, bonding with other people. Go spend a couple hours like at the lake or something with your friends. Do something like that, okay? Otherwise, it doesn't seem like things are going to progress the way you want them to. And that, I feel like, is what the High Priestess has come here to say to you. Okay, this can be the turning point of the year. Everything that you've endured is paying off now. Okay, now you have to let that sort of payoff happen. Yeah. But that Five of Swords is going to be part of the issue because I feel like you really don't trust other people right now to do. It's like you can't trust them with very much of this. Like even a simple task, you kind of feel like it's better if I just do it myself. Yeah. Now I want you to subscribe to the channel, claim this reading if it's resonating with you. Give me a yes in the comments, okay? And a big shout out to everybody that does leave comments. I really love the people that are kind of, they're just commenting as the thoughts come to them. So it's like a conversation in the comments, and I really do enjoy reading that. I really love the community that we're building here. And save this video if you need to watch it later. Share this with a friend who, you know, maybe you want them to kind of know what you're going through, okay? Maybe it's not that easy for you to talk to people, or it's not easy for you to ask for help. Maybe it's not easy for you to say, hey, this was a rough road. Can we be friends? Can we hang out? Can we just have some fun? Can we just do something that's easy? You know, can we bond a little bit? Because when I say, you know, you want to lean on other people and ask for help, I don't just mean, you know, can you file these papers? Can you make these phone calls? Can you pay these bills, you know? I mean asking other people for help by saying like, hey, I need a day to just chill, you know, like can we spend some time and just relax, you know? Maybe you need some help, you know, mentally, emotionally. And not necessarily like, I need to give you some tasks to do, okay? I think it's probably both, obviously, yeah. But you have to find a way to ask. Find a way to communicate that. And maybe that is literally just, you know, sharing this video with them. Hey, if you're watching, if someone sent this video to you, Capricorn would like to ask you for some help. They need a day with you just to hang out, okay? They maybe need some help with their goals too, to help kind of lighten the load, because they're carrying a lot on their shoulders right now. Okay, they want to reach out to you, but they're not sure how. We're going to talk about the path of the serpent. There's that Two of Wands. There's that dominion, right? Didn't even see this sitting down there. My arm was covering it. The Two of Wands is Mars in Aries. This is an emperor that does not want anybody to touch anything. Don't touch anything. It's kind of, I mean, I can relate to this. I'm not a Capricorn. But I don't want anybody in my studio. I don't want anybody coming in, tinkering with the lights. I won't even let anybody come in and clean up to like help me throw away garbage or whatever. Like I got some notes and stuff and old candles and things like this. But it's like I don't want anybody to do that. You know, like that's part of my responsibility, first of all. So I feel like you have this kind of emperor attitude that it's like, this is my deal, my business, this is my work, it's my office, I'm responsible for it, and I don't want anybody coming in and cleaning up after me. Okay, it's kind of like this is your dominion, and you're going to have to be the one to do it. And that's a wonderful energy to have. That's a very admirable kind of general energy, right? The Two of Wands in this position. But sometimes it can go a little extreme. Ten of Wands is a very extreme fire energy. So Spirit's saying, yes, you know what? It's very, very noble of you to want to do everything yourself and to kind of not want anybody else to have to come in and help you. It's kind of like, no, this was something you started, so you're not going to make anybody else help you. Like that seems, you know, it seems irresponsible or something, right? Sometimes you have to ease this up a little bit. Mars in Aries, right? Very adamantly saying, stay away from my space. I'm doing this. I'm going to make the phone calls, you know? So I feel like you are kind of like defensive over your work, whatever it is, over your space. I feel like you like to kind of do it by yourself. If this is a physical exercise kind of thing, it's like you don't want anybody to come and work out with you. You work out by yourself because you get in the zone and you do it hard. And maybe you do it too hard. And maybe it's the realization that, you know, from this point forward, you kind of need like the buddy with you. It seems like you need somebody that can just like encourage you and also like tell you, hey, you're like, almost like you need the reassurance from other people around you sometimes. Okay? And I think you need the input from other people. But this is like a big red X, it's a big no. It's a big, you know, do not enter sign on your life. And I don't think you mean to push people away. You don't mean to kind of be blocking people from getting close. I think it's kind of just the way you've learned how to do it. And it's paid off for you. Like, let me say, this is that discipline This is that endurance. This is that ownership and that agency that's got you where you are today, and that's facilitated this breakthrough. And this breakthrough, now things have to change. The fives, right? Change. Change your behavior, change your mind, change the way you're communicating, change the things you're doing. Because it's no longer that kind of hardcore attitude that's going to do anything. The hardcore attitude allowed the breakthrough to happen. Now that the breakthrough is happening, you've got to change your tactics. Okay? We need the water energy. And that's really part of our Aquarius energy in the environment here, the Prince of Swords, in the position of your relationships. It's all about communication. It's all about learning how to exchange ideas with people and communicate and share information. Ask for help, receive help, and just kind of like have conversations with people, you know. This is also a card that is that needs to change. Fixed air, a belief system that is too rigid. And that rigidity says, this is the way I do things, this is the way that works, and anything else that is contrary to that, I'm going to reject. Okay, it's kind of like somebody that says, this is the reality, this is what the world is, and any information or testimony or data, any other opinions that the world is not the way I expect it, I am going to actively rail against, you know? And I think that there's a little bit of that going on with you. And so it's just a matter of remaining open to other opinions, other styles, other versions of reality that maybe, you know, we don't really believe in. Okay? Think of somebody who's like a skeptic. I always think of the skeptic with this card, you know. Somebody that, and not even really, to me, it's not even true skepticism. It's somebody that refuses to believe anything that doesn't conform with their ideas. Okay? The world is flat, the world is round, whatever. You tell me something different, and I'm gonna fight against it. Yeah. Or, you know, this is kind of like, you know, this is the way you succeed, this is the way things are supposed to be, this is the way you're supposed to work hard, and then, you know, anything that may challenge that kind of twists us up a little bit, you know. There's some kind of cognitive dissonance going on. But this is also that same kind of rigid belief that allows you to get stuff done. Because it's saying you believe in the work that you're doing, and so that belief that you held on to, you wouldn't let anything tell you differently, even if things started to get a little bit unstable with your finances, even if you started to have doubts mentally, there's something inside of you that said, this is the way the world works, and I'm going to fight against anything that tells me any differently, right? So this kind of rigid energy, every card has light and shadow, okay? So the light side of this card is that you believe in something, you believe in yourself and your work, whatever this is. You believe in it so much that there is no evidence that could be presented to you that would convince you otherwise. No weapon formed against you will prosper. When you believe in yourself, doesn't matter what anybody else shows you. You're saying, I don't accept that. This is gonna work and I'm gonna do it. And that's admirable, you know. It really truly is. But I think we can take that kind of rigidity too far. And right now, Spirit's advising like flexibility, softness. Spirit's emphasizing the water energy, which we don't have. What we have is fire and air. Okay? Fire and air influencing your behavior. Maybe the High Priestess as a lunar energy, lunar, water, the softness. Maybe the High Priestess is here to say, look, you don't have to be all fire and air. You can be a little water and earth sometimes too. That I think now it's time for your tactics to shift. Okay? Shifting over to a little bit more ease and softness, a little bit more tranquility. Okay? The Emperor here in the fear, worry, and concern position, that's your anxiety really, right? Because that's a card of control. That's the card of stability. That's the card of rulership, authority, discipline, structure, order, law, right? The way things are supposed to be, and I'm enforcing that. And that's awesome. That's what got you how far you got. That's what has led you down this road. Okay? And that is what is facilitating this breakthrough. Once this breakthrough happens and things start to unfold, the emperor needs some new clothes, right? The emperor, I think, needs to embrace the softer side of themselves. Okay? Every card has light and shadow. The shadow side of the emperor is force and fire, domination, aggression, a very strict, overpowering authority figure. So rigid and so firm, kind of ruling life with an iron fist. A true emperor, a balanced emperor, is going to have love and compassion, empathy. He's going to be soft. He's going to be a servant as well as a leader. He's going to be water as well as fire. Okay? So I think really this is kind of like, we're summoning the other half of the emperor, the softer half, the softer side of the emperor. Yeah, it's not gender specific. It's energy dynamics, okay? And then, of course, we see that with the Ten of Wands, that kind of fiery, forceful, rigid, dominating fire energy is going to exhaust itself very soon. And this is Spirit's way of saying that, look, the breakthrough really here is that all your fire has created the breakthrough. Now we can put the fire down for a minute and embrace the water. Okay, otherwise you're going to burn that fire out. Or this is now you're shifting into a season where all that fiery discipline is going to make things bad. It's the water, it's the love, it's the celebration, it's the health, the healing, the empathy, and compassion. That's what's going to continue to grow the business or grow the life, or you know what I mean? Hit the like button if this resonates with you, okay? I want you to claim your role as a magic maker in this community, and give me a like, give me a heck yes in the comments. Let's look at the mystery card. The Empress, gotta be, okay? Because that would be the other half of the Emperor, and it would be where the High Priestess is leading you. She's always leading you to your best life. So I'm kind of thinking this should be the Empress. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments. Let's see what we have. Another Five of Swords. But I wonder if this Five of Swords is kind of like saying we're putting the competitive knives down. We're putting that, maybe we're kind of, we're learning how to communicate in a different way. Okay. And I think since we have a 5 and a 5, we have a 10 of Swords. It's kind of like saying continuing to do things the same way that you've been doing them is going to lead to ruin for you. It's not going to lead to your best life. And so we have the 5. We have the High Priestess telling you, hey, I got news for you. And we've got another 5 that may say, despite what your intuition is telling you, despite Spirit coming in and advising the softer water energy, you're kind of disagreeing with it and saying, no, I'm going to do things my way. So it shows even a more staunch rigidity like the Prince of Swords. But I'm choosing to look at this card and say you're choosing to put the swords down. You're choosing to kind of like to say, okay, fine. Okay? Because what does the High Priestess really ask of you? She asks surrender. What is surrender? The Hanged Man. What is the Hanged Man? Pure water energy. She's asking you to become water. Because the High Priestess really is reaching for your hand, for the hand of the High Priestess, reaching for the hand of the Hanged Man. Okay? If I had the Hanged Man here, then we would see that they're holding hands. The cards are designed to connect together, right? Like puzzle pieces. So she's asking you to become water. I think this is you kind of almost begrudgingly saying, okay, fine. Fine, I'll be water. Fine, I'll ask for help. Fine, I'll stop fighting with everybody and, pushing everybody away and stuff. So I feel like this is you acquiescing to the high priestess and saying, yes, I'll take your hand. Guide me through this path of love. Guide me down these corridors of connection. I think this is really a good thing, okay? Now, we're going to do an extended reading as well. We'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link in the corner. There's a link in the video description right down there. New readings for Capricorn Tuesdays and Fridays. Be sure to watch both readings. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you are watching from. I want you to know that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we are all in this together.